In the 1980s, one man held a nation hostage and a world enthralled. He was a father, a philanthropist, and a cold-blooded executioner. He built his own prison, outran two governments, and earned enough cash to bury it in the dirt just to keep it hidden. They called him El Patron, but to history he remains the most successful and most dangerous criminal to ever live. This is the rise and fall of Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria. Born in Rio Negro, Antioquia, on December 1, 1949, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was a member of the Paisa community. His ancestry was primarily Spanish, hailing from the Basque region, along with some Italian heritage. Raised as the third of 7 siblings, he experienced a childhood of significant financial hardship in Medellín. His upbringing was shaped by his father's work as a humble farmer and his mother's profession as a school teacher. Escobar first quit high school in 1966 near his 17th birthday, only to re-enroll 2 years later with Gustavo Gaviria. During this period, the harsh realities of Medellín streets toughened them, earning them reputations as schoolhouse thugs. The pair eventually abandoned their studies again, yet Escobar remained determined to pursue some form of higher learning. Utilizing a falsified diploma, he briefly attended college to study law with dreams of reaching the nation's presidency. Ultimately, he was forced to withdraw from his university courses because he could no longer afford the tuition fees. Escobar's descent into delinquency began alongside a local gang where they pilfered tombstones from graveyards, erasing the names to sell them as fresh marble. Following his departure from formal education, he transitioned into the more lucrative and dangerous underground economy of professional vehicle theft. The scope of his brutality widened as he orchestrated kidnappings, often sadistically destroying ransom receipts even after the frantic families had paid in full. His notoriety peaked with the 1971 abduction and subsequent murder of Diego Echeverria, an elite industrialist whose death solidified the gang's fearsome reputation. That operation netted a $50,000 payout, providing the necessary seed capital just as the global appetite for Colombian cocaine began its historic mid-70s surge. This rapid ascent triggered an investigation by the DAS, resulting in his 1976 arrest after 39 kilograms of narcotics were discovered hidden in a spare tire. Displaying the early stages of his systematic corruption, he manipulated the judicial process through strategic bribery to ensure his immediate release from custody. Retribution followed swiftly the next year when the specific agent responsible for his initial arrest was executed, sending a chilling message to the entire force. This pioneered the Plata o plomo philosophy, a binary ultimatum of silver or lead that coerced officials into choosing between a lucrative bribe or a funeral. Both the Medellín and Cali syndicates weaponized this wealth to infiltrate the highest echelons of the liberal and conservative political machines via campaign finance. Consequently, Escobar and his associates functioned as shadow directors of the state, ensuring that the candidates they funded remained loyal once seated in office. While the Medellín Cartel's roots were planted in the early 70s, a 1978 summit of narco barons accelerated their logistics to a massive industrial scale. Driven by a vengeful obsession with political legitimacy, Escobar ordered the 1989 assassination of Luis Carlos Galán, who had publicly denounced his criminality. In a desperate bid to eliminate Galán's political successor, César Gaviria, Escobar's agents detonated a bomb on Avianca Flight 203, killing every soul on board. The tragic deaths of 2 American citizens in that explosion forced a pivot in U.S. foreign policy, triggering direct military and intelligence intervention in Colombia. The Gaviria administration launched a relentless offensive against the cartels, eventually brokering a deal for Escobar's surrender under the promise of leniency. By 1991, Escobar officially turned himself in, leveraging a cessation of his terror campaign to secure a constitutional ban against extradition to the United States. Critics argued this legal victory was bought and paid for, suspecting that narco dollars had heavily influenced the assembly responsible for the new constitution. He was subsequently housed in La Catedral, a custom-built fortress masquerading as a prison, complete with a soccer field, private bars, and luxury amenities. When reports surfaced that he was still directing murders and trafficking from his cell, the government finally moved to transfer him to a standard federal facility. Tipped off by his vast network of informants, Escobar escaped through the back of the complex in July 1992, becoming the world's most hunted fugitive until his death. Besieged by a triflet of powerful adversaries, Escobar navigated a shrinking world hunted by the Colombian National Police, the American intelligence apparatus, and the ruthless rival Cali Cartel. On December 2, 1993, the search culminated in a middle-class Medellín neighborhood where Colombian special forces utilized advanced American radio triangulation technology to intercept a call to his family. Though the initial intent was a tactical apprehension, the encounter rapidly devolved into a high-stakes firefight as Escobar and his lead bodyguard attempted a desperate evasion. While scrambling across the ceramic tiles of a residential rooftop, the drug lord was fatally struck by a barrage of gunfire that ended his decade-long reign of narco-terrorism. The autopsy revealed multiple ballistic wounds to his torso and lower extremities, with a decisive, controversial shot to the ear that remains the subject of intense forensic debate. Conspiracy theories persist to this day regarding that final head wound, with many questioning if it was an act of execution by the police or a final act of suicide by Escobar. The power vacuum created by his demise and the subsequent dissolution of the Medellín Cartel allowed the Cali Cartel to monopolize the global cocaine trade until their own leaders fell years later. Despite his monstrous legacy of violence, the carefully manufactured Robin Hood persona Escobar projected continued to resonate deeply within the impoverished barrios of his home city. A staggering 25,000 mourners flooded the streets for his funeral, a testament to the complex loyalty he commanded from the thousands of citizens who had benefited from his illicit charity. In certain sectors of Medellín, the kingpin has been elevated to the status of a secular saint, with devotees placing his image on home altars and offering prayers for divine intervention. His remains were eventually interred at the Cementerio Jardines Montesacro, where his gravesite continues to serve as a polarizing landmark and a destination for both the curious and the devoted.